Today we're going to try to take care of this starter issue we're having on this 2010 F150 with the 5.4 liter Triton motor. So let's take a look. Don't go any further with this repair unless you do what I'm going to tell you right now. No need to go to any other videos on the internet, because I'm telling you, I did my research and this is what you're going to need. You're going to need something that is 15.5 inches. 15 is not enough. 16 might be too much. I'm telling you 15.5 inches. And a regular deep socket, a swivel adapter. A swivel socket won't work because it's too wide. Couple of short extensions, a long 6-inch. These are like 3 inches each, 6 inches, and a little 1-inch wobble. Now you probably could get away with a universal joint here, but I'm telling you, you're going to need 15.5 inches of flexibility in order to get this top bolt out. You're not going to be able to do it without this. The rest of the tools I'm going to suggest is on top of this. Get yourself a ratchet, long ratchet, or a electric ratchet. You're going to need a little inspection mirror to be able to see that top bolt, 8mm and 10mm wrenches, some safety goggles, some type of light to be able to see under there, and of course a new starter. So whenever I go to start this thing, it sounds like the starter Bendix, the gear part is just staying engaged too long, like it's cranking, it's going like it won't disengage, and I don't want any other starter issues. So I got a new one, and we're going to replace that. Let's see if we can hear it. Let me turn off everything. So let's see if we can hear this thing. I don't know if you heard it, but it hangs on just a little bit. So we're going to just go ahead and change the starter. So pick this AC Delco new starter up from Rock Auto. There's your part number there. Oh, yeah. I didn't know that. Let me tell you why I didn't know that. First reason I didn't suspect that, because this was the most expensive one that Rock Auto had in the new category. And so, you know, you can't always go by price, but I'm going to show you something. It says it's new, so it is not remanufactured. There's some instructions. We probably won't need that. Let's take a look. Manufactured for AC Delco, Flint, Michigan, USA. So, you know, these things are very misleading. I mean, this says it's Flint, Michigan, USA is probably the headquarters of AC Delco, but I mean, come on. You know, it's getting harder and harder nowadays to determine what's a good product and what's not. I'm not saying just because it's made in China it's bad, but you know, as well as I do, it is highly likely that this is nowhere near as good as the original. And so I already see we got a little situation here. Not sure if that's a situation or not. That's tight. So what I always do on a new starter is I take a look and I make sure that the studs are tight. This seems to be. I will make sure that they're tightened up here on the base, and I make sure that that it is not cracked or bent anywhere. This one doesn't seem to be. Also make sure that it's machined very smooth. This one does seem to be. So this one seems to be acceptable, but you know, country of origin does matter in my opinion, and we'll just hopefully this thing will work. And if I do remember correctly, this was about $130 to $40 from Rock Auto. Pretty much the same exact thing that you get from AutoZone or whatever. It was almost $100 more. So, and it's same country of origin over there. So unless I go directly to the Ford dealer, and I do suggest that you do check that sometimes, because sometimes they're not as expensive as you think. But I think I did check this, and this was like $500 from the Ford dealer. So no, I'm not doing that. All right, the next step is find out where is the starter on here. So let's take a look before we even get started. Now, usually, but not all the times, your starter is on the same side of a V8 motor as your battery. So I'm hoping the starter is somewhere on here. Let's take a look. All right, so where? Oh. Look, is this it? Nope, that's the air conditioner compressor. Where is the starter? Oh, there she is in the back of the motor right here. Okay. All right, let's see what, let me assess the situation here. Okay, looks like we have a couple of wires here. Got to take this cap off right here. You see? Pull that off, take the wires off. Looks like there's a big ground right here on the side of the starter. And hopefully I can get up around this exhaust pipe. I did not run this thing very long, so hopefully the exhaust is cool enough. Always take a look at the old starter to see where these bolts are. Hopefully there's only two and not a third one on the very top. I don't remember by looking at it, but we're about to find out. But the first thing you want to do is go unhook your battery, because the last thing you want to do is take this off and ground it out and short your computer out. So let's do that. Okay, we'll take a look under here. I think these are like 8mm. It is extremely warm out here, so hopefully you can hear me talk over this fan. Okay, these are 8mm nuts. Remove the battery cable. I always remove the negative first and the positive last, and then do it in reverse. There's debate about that, but I'll tell you why. So if I remove the positive first, well, there's pros and cons. I'll let y'all fight that out in the comments. But anyway, I always remove the negative first. Okay, and you see from this new one here, it shows to have 3 bolts. So that's going to be fun. All right, back under here. It looks like the first thing we'll do is remove this little cap here. And that gives us access to our solenoid. All right, first one I'm going to take off is, this is a 10mm, this little small one right here. And this one is where that cable is. That's a 13mm. You don't need to take that one off because that one's just connected to the starter itself. But this cable, 13mm. And if you're taking off an original one, these things are not that tight, so don't go bananas on them when you tighten them back up. And we'll just pull these cables off here. Move them out of the way. And there is another cable at the front of the starter right here, and that nut right there is a 13mm. Okay, that one was a little hard because you actually have to hold that nut behind it, and because it wants to twist. But anyway, we'll get this cable off real quick like this. And these other ones are going to be a booger to get. Okay, now you've got to pull this stud out right here. So this stud is just going to unscrew. 13mm again. Now the next bolt I've got to tackle is way up there. Okay. Let's see. All right. That's that one. Now the probably most difficult one is going to be the one on top. Okay, this upper starter bolt is a monster, so I'm going to have to show you the setup. This is about after an hour of playing with it. I'm holding the starter. It is now loose from that top bolt, and when I get it out, I'll kind of show you the path, maybe when I go to put it back in. Okay, after about an hour of fighting with it, I finally got the top bolt out. That's the bolt that goes right here. So before we start going into that, so you can see my new one, this thing was not on there, and I'll show you where it goes on the new one. So the new one, this is supposed to be here, and it looks like it either broke or not there, so we may have to take that off of here. That's probably some kind of little drain thing if water gets in it, not really sure. But other than that, they look identical. Not identical, but see, this one is the original Ford one. It says USA on it, 12 volts. This has got 220,000 miles on it about. I'll see if I can take this piece out here. Yes, so see, that should look like this. We're going to reuse that. Probably there's a piece stuck in here. This is what I use to get the swivel out. I don't know how you would do it without an electric or an air ratchet, but I guess some people can if you've got patience. I used a 1-inch little swivel here, and show you what, whoops. Okay, that's what the 1-inch swivel looks there. 6-inch, 2-inch, 2-inch, and then a swivel adapter. I tried a swivel socket, it wouldn't fit in there, and then your 13 millimeter. And all of that will allow you to get over the front axle if you have a four-wheel drive, or the front beam, and be able to get it right on. And it takes, if you get the right combination, it only takes you a few minutes. If not, I spend an hour figuring this out. These are the three bolts, what they look like. This one is the bottom one, probably the easiest. The side one's not too bad, and your top one, these two seem to be the same. Anyhow, so I'm going to put the top one in first. Okay, and this is the little hole that came out of here. You basically just take the starter and shove it back in there, but this is the booger right there. That bolt is very hard to get to. What I decided to do is go ahead and put in the bottom bolt and this middle bolt here just with my hands to kind of hold the starter up there. I'm not going to fully tighten them. I mean, it's that simple, but I will show you how I get to that top. To give you a perspective of that weird extension I had to make. So this is the air conditioner compressor. The front of the vehicle is this way, rear is this way. Air conditioner compressor. There, I have an extension with two swivels going over. This is the main subframe brace. It's going over the motor mount to the top of the starter, which you cannot see, but that is the only way that I have figured out how to get that top bolt. And finally, it's done. Of course, it's always a good idea to clean your electrical connections. I cleaned these with a Dremel wire wheel and sprayed some electrical contact cleaner. This large wire is going to go to the bolt on the bottom, like that, and then we put a nut on it, and we just reconnect the little 8 millimeter bolt. Nope, that's a 10 millimeter, sorry, the little small wire there. And then just connect your large wire and you are done. Don't go bananas on tightening. Okay, to recap, you know, the large black ground goes there, your positive cable from your battery goes here, and your little igniter switch wire goes there. The install is complete. We'll go hook the battery up and see what happens. I almost forgot to put this little protective plastic piece back on, so let's see if that is going to fit, because the new starter had 14 millimeter bolt and nuts, and the old one had 13. And it did fit. It popped right back on, so don't forget that. And connect your battery cable back. Okay, I got everything moved out the way. Let's see if this thing will crank. Okay. Okay, it cranked and it sounds good, so I guess it works. So let's do a recap. Okay, what you're going to need before you do anything, make sure you have this set up here, as I mentioned early in the video. Electric ratchet is preferred, manual ratchet will work, an 8 millimeter and a 10 millimeter wrench, and you're going to need a 13 millimeter socket, some type of light to see underneath there, and definitely some safety glasses, and of course a new starter. That's about it for this video. I hope this video at least save you some aggravation, especially getting that top starter bolt, and of course save you some money. Have a great week.